Hi, it's Dawn Billings with Relationship Help at Home. And you know, it's very important that we continue to understand how different personality tendencies cause us to think and behave differently. I love a particular episode where my oldest son Tony, who is very warm colors, very orange, very yellow, very green, and his bride is very blurple. She is so blue and so purple, and they come at things in life from very different perspectives. Tony can at times be a really fabulous, hysterical, fun person, but he can also act sometimes like a big kid. She can be, with her blurple, she can be so rigid and regimented, and the list can get so long of what it is to do. So these color tendencies really work in relationships. One day Tony was doing some work for me, and he's fantastic when he's helping me with primary colors, and he's very creative, and he's very pragmatic, and he really helps me with just bringing things down to a very basic level to help people understand things, and he's a great presenter. And he was helping me, and I wanted to reward him. He wouldn't let me pay him. So I said, well, what I'll do, there's a brand new game. I can't even remember the name of it now, but it was coming out. He was kind of excited. He likes to beat the games. And I said, I'll take you to Costco and buy you this game. I want to, as a thank you. And he was like, well, okay, that would be nice. Well, my son Corbin was also here, but he was on a health kick, and he wanted me to pick up some very healthy things at Costco that he liked to eat. He wanted to put into his refrigerator. So while we're at Costco, I'm loading up my basket, and I'm loading up a little separate area for Corbin. And Tony looks at me and he says, what are you doing? And I said, I'm buying some healthy food that Corbin requested that I pick up for him. And Tony looks at his game, and he looks back at Corbin's little stack of healthy food, and he looks down at his wedding ring, and he says, you know what? I'm an adult. Would you replace my game with food that I could take home? And I said, of course I would. So he runs and he takes the game back. He calls his wife, and she sends him quickly a text list of things to pick up at Costco. He picks up all of them, and as we get to the checkout counter, he's so excited. I mean, he really wanted that game, but he's so proud of himself. He's like a grown-up, and he's selected food for his wife and he instead, and he's all excited to take these home. Now, keep in mind, with his coloring, he could have a tendency to be a little more selfish, and the game would be so fun. So he's really stepping outside of his comfort zone to do something. But what he needs and what he wants, having that coloring, is he wants lots of recognition and appreciation for doing this good thing. When he walks through the door, his wife Tiffany is all excited to see him. She's helping him unload, the food that he's brought home. And she says to him, where's the hummus? And he looks down and he says, oh, I'm sorry, it's the one thing I forgot. And she said, that was what I was most looking forward to. Because when blurples, people with really strong blue and purple tendencies, get something in their head, they get a big, strong expectation. This completely deflated his bubble of being so great and bringing home all of the groceries, because she had expressed in very strong terms that the one thing she most wanted was the hummus. We need to understand, when we are hearing and when we are watching behaviors and actions, we need to really remember our partner's color tendencies. We need to know when they've stepped outside and really up their game from their what they could choose to do that wouldn't be as extraordinary. And we also need to know when to not just spill out of our mouths something that might deflate someone who needs something else. You know, they've since laughed about it and of course worked it through. But it's a wonderful, perfect story of how innocently on both sides, just being who they are naturally, they could get to a place where they were so excited about getting it right and ended up with one statement, making it a struggle instead. Are there any places that you and your partner can think about that you possibly do similar things? This relationship video is brought to you by Relationship Help at Home.